I went on this 80% ultra-processed food diet for a month. And what I noticed is for that month, what was really weird is all my colleagues at work and my family and my kids, my wife, became unbearable. They chose that month to start annoying me and kicking off. And I just found myself sort of screaming at everyone. I couldn't understand, like, why did everyone pick this month? As soon as, of course, I stopped the diet, everyone stopped being annoying. I was like, oh, maybe it was the food. But it's really hard in life. And I think we've got loads of psychology understanding of this. When we're inflamed, exhausted, we don't locate the problem necessarily with the food we ate 2 days ago. We locate the problem with you. You're sitting there, you're annoying me. So I found myself kind of screaming at my kids. But when I stopped eating the diet, it was 48 hours later, the clouds parted, the sun came out, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I've just been unbearable.
Well, I was interested in addiction therapy, they often talk about the acronym of HALT. If you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you're likely to regress. Yeah. And I'm interested if you'd explain then, in addition to what you've said, about how ultra-processed food generates hungry, angry.
So one thing I found eating the diet is this food is incredibly salty, it's incredibly sugary. So you have a big meat and you overeat it. So for dinner, you'll have, you have your microwave pizza and cover it in sauce. You've eaten so much salt that you're thirsty, so you drink loads of water. Then I'm 45, I get up in the middle of the night, I have a pee 3 times, I can't get back to sleep. I'm exhausted once I'm up. And then I find myself at the fridge eating more of the food. So I'm tired. I'm also constipated. So we don't want to get in too much detail, but the saltiness, the food lacks fiber. So you get constipated. So you get all these bum problems, you get piles, you get anal fissures. So your bum hurts, you're exhausted. All of this is driving hungry, angry, lonely. In the middle of the night, it's a lonely period of time. So you eat more food because you've got high levels of cortisol driving you to eat more junk. So the food often feels like the solution to the problem, just like a big glass of booze or a cigarette or doom scrolling social media. They often feel like the solution to the kind of the immediate pain of the lives that we're in. And what's really hard, Joe Wicks is really good at this. He's like, you've got to treat yourself to not doing that stuff. It's quite a nice inversion. We're sold something that's a treat that's actually an addiction or a quasi-addiction. But no, I think that's right. The food helps to create the vulnerabilities that drive both food addiction and then vulnerabilities. So you're often eating bad food, engaging with addictive social media, whilst consuming alcohol. The things those kind of that all goes as a package.
Yeah. I think we have to be really kind to people, and I think you are actually the way that you talk about this, because my son plays football. And when they win, you hear other parents go, brilliant game, come on, let's get a treat. Let's go to McDonald's. Oh, you've done brilliant in your exams, come on, let's have a treat. Let's go to the shop and get you a bag of sweets. But that's not because we're born thinking sweets and, junk food and fast food and ultra-processed food is a treat. It's because that's what society is telling us.
Well, that's what the food industry is telling you. I hope the book doesn't drive shame and stigma. The number one goal of the book is to reduce the terrible shame that we all feel around food, diet, our bodies. 60-70% of the UK population lives with overweight and hates it. So I'm trying to take some of that shame that people are very good at heaping on themselves and go, no. Heap it on the companies. Heap it on the politicians who take the money from the companies, on the doctors, on the scientists who are helping the companies avoid regulation. But the other thing is the book doesn't have any advice, I think.
Right.
There's an invitation at the beginning instead to actually do what I do, which is eat the food, right? You're surrounded by this food. Like, you can't control this. This food, the scientists I was speaking to at the companies, right? These are men and women with PhDs who dedicate their entire lives with almost unlimited budgets to making food that you can't stop eating, right? You're somewhat powerless. So my proposal is really eat the food, like, get it out of the packet, read the ingredients list. Yeah, you can read my book. If you can't afford my book, you can listen to the podcast or you can read the free articles in the press about ultra-processed food and ask yourself, is this really food? And often we know that addiction and disgust sit quite close to each other in the brain. So I was given this gift midway through the diet. In the book, I was speaking to this scientist in Brazil who's a friend and colleague. She's called Fernanda Rauber. And every time I mentioned the food, she'd go, it's not food. I'll be like, yeah, okay, Fernanda. And we keep talking. She goes, no, it's not food. It's not food. It's an industrially produced edible substance. It's designed to take your health and turn it into money for institutional investors. It is not food. Food is about love and community and health and family, and this isn't food. And I sat down that evening. In the book, it's a turkey Twizzler, but in reality, it was KFC. You know, when you write books, you've got to shuffle things around so they make sense in order. It was KFC hot wings, and I could not eat them. And she just flicked that switch where it was like falling out of love, where people have this experience with people and with other stuff they're addicted to, and they're suddenly like, wow. Ex-smokers are often like, did I ever do that? And so ever since then, I sort of really don't want the food. And that is the kind of gift I'm trying to give to the reader. I'm also cautious. I'm not selling anyone a lifestyle, right? I don't have an app or a platform or a subscription service where you can join my weight loss UPF free life. This is.
So what is this about then for you?
So what
triggered it?
The book is trying to create a grassroots movement that empowers the reader who feels addicted to the food or like they're struggling. It gives you a tool where hopefully just eat along, learn about the food, and it may become disgusting to you. I don't guarantee it, but lots of people have found that. The book is also trying to speak to policymakers. So I have two big goals, right? The first thing is warning labels on food. Okay, can I show you?
Yeah.
So we can put this up on the screen. But so at the moment, if you look at a pack of Kellogg's Cocoa Pops or almost any breakfast cereal, it's covered in health claims, right? There are 12 health claims on a box of Cocoa Pops, all right? Now, whether you worry about fat, salt, and sugar, or you call it ultra-processed, it's not a healthy way of beginning the day. It should have big black octagons on it warning about excess salt and sugar. If food has octagons, right, can't have health claims, can't have a monkey on the box. So Kit Kat, Nestlé's Kit Kat cereal would get 3 warning octagons.
What are the warnings?
For sugars, saturated fat, salt. And in Mexico, food can have up to 5 warning octagons and 2 black boxes. So it has warnings for calories, non-nutritive sweeteners, sugars, saturated fat, and then caffeine and colorings. Okay, so lots and lots of warnings. And what this means is it gives people choice. There's Froobs, okay, calcium, vitamin D, good stuff inside. There's a cartoon character. Yeah, this has, according to our agreed national diet guidance that's 30 years old, really high levels of sugar and salt. So people need information, and all the octagon warning labels do is give you information. They don't restrict your freedom, but they stop companies being able to kind of lie to you.